Very different film if Steve Douglas was in it. Beaton, though, you could see him playing the role. Effortless, graceful. And the reigning German darts master, more importantly, having won this tournament last year. Dan Dawson in the commentary box. Alongside me is Mike Lawrence.
Still one of my favourite walk-ons, even after all these years. The Adonis coming on to staying alive. He won this event last year, the German Darts Masters. A rare victory for the veteran, former BDO world champion. He beat Mervyn King in the final, also dispatched Simon Whitlock, Brendan Dolan and Jamie Caven, so no easy ride to that German Darts Masters victory for Stevie Beaton. And meanwhile, the other Steve Douglas, he knocked out Dean Winstanley last night, 6-5. Just having a bit of fun with the crowd is Steve Douglas, who's going to follow the walk-on girls off. Dean Winstanley missed 2 match darts to win that, but it was Douglas who edged through in the 11th and deciding leg.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we know who's going to be playing the winner of this one. It is Wes Newton, following that superb display against Jarkko Komula, the first seeded player to go through this afternoon from the second round.
That's the bullseye.
Steve Douglas, for all his dancing, for all his banter on stage, walking the fine line between a big joke and a restraining order with the walk-on girls, he manages to slam one in the bullseye and he gets the advantage of throwing first. So Douglas with the first darts of the match. Pretty good darts they are as well. How is Steve Beaton going to start in the defence of his title? The seeded player comes in as the second round. Not done much good for the vast majority of seeded players so far this weekend.
Steve Beaton recently celebrated his 50th birthday.
59.
18 years now since he lifted that Lakeside World Championship back in 1996. He's a regular on the Pro Tour and also a regular at these European Tour events. He's had second round exits so far in the first 2 events, in Hildesheim to Jelle Klassen, I should say, and then in Veldhoven going out to Kevin Thomas.
99.
Yeah, so yet to win a game on the European Tour this year, but he did have this purple patch last year on the European Tour especially, where he went semi-final, quarter-final, semi-final, and then got the one he won, the German Darts Masters. Superb purple patch for the bronzed Adonis. He'll be looking to replicate that this year. Still believes he's got a major title in him. And look at this. 139. That'll leave him Shanghai. If Steve Douglas can't take out this 110.
Well, he was looking for the bullseye there, but he does
require 120.
now need tops if Beaton doesn't get Shanghai on the 20s, which would finish with double top. There's the first 2 parts of the move, and there's the third. A masterclass in a Shanghai checkout from Steve Beaton, and a break of throw immediately at the start of this game.
Well, it looked tricky after the first dart, but his second one, plumb in the little red bit. Only 1 dart for the double. Only 1 dart needed.
100.
Steve Douglas did manage to beat Dean Winstanley in the first round here. Went all the way
59.
to 6-5. He did survive a match dart to lose 6-4 against Over the Top. Hit 5 180s in that match, despite an average only in the high 80s. But yeah, once he got his first dart exactly where he wanted it, Steve Douglas, he was pretty ruthless in following it up with another 2.
81.
I mentioned Steve Beaton, 18 years since he won the Lakeside World Crown. Well, the year before that, Steve Douglas was a WZF Youth Cup winner. So he's certainly been around for a long time.
$54.
And had rather a life-changing experience in December 2012 when he suffered a heart attack, but still played at the Lakeside World Championships a month later.
140.
Yeah, managed to win his first round match as well. He's in a spot of bother here, though.
81.
Well, 81 doesn't get him down to a finish, so Steve Beaton can take his time here. He's already taken out 120. Well, maybe 2 double tops. Well, he went for 16s.
49.
Yes, Wes Newton seeing off Jarkko Komula in our previous match on stage here at the Maritime Hotel. And we'll take on the winner of this one as the third round on Easter Monday afternoon begins to shape up nicely. Another double top, the second in a row, executed with no problems whatsoever for Beaton.
Yeah, 2 for 2, both on double top. And he leads 2-0. Decent start to this third leg from Douglas, though, as he looks to get his first leg on the board.
60.
And even by his usual standards, Steve Beaton is looking especially bronzed this weekend, I have to say.
I think Beaton might actually be a shade of creosote. If you go down B&Q and pick one out.
100.
Better stuff from Steve Douglas. 9 darts thrown, he's down to 137. And anything but a maximum for Steve Beaton means that Douglas will have 6 darts from there.
96. Steve require 137.
Well, he may do this in just 3. Well, just wants to set this up nicely.
96.
And does so. So he'll be back for a potential 13 darter. What kind of pressure is Beaton going to put him under? Not a great deal is the answer for Steve Douglas to get his first leg on the board and reduce the arrears. Straight in there, 13 darter.
Steve Douglas. Full flag, Steve Beaton, the front first. Game on.
And for all we jest about Beaton's nickname and the jokey fun walk-on, he has a fantastic, solid, steady throwing style, and the fact that he's been among the upper echelons of the game for 25 years or so means that he's no mug. A consistent performer over many, many years,
60.
as well as a great character and a decent person to boot. And a qualified driving instructor, let's not forget.
140.
Which is always useful to have another trade up your sleeve.
Well, look at this from Beaton. Fills it up, first maximum of the match. And it goes to the bronzed Adonis.
Can you imagine having your driving lessons from the bronzed Adonis, Dan?
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Usually most driving lessons I know, they're in a
65.
Nissan Micra or some little car like that. When I picture Beaton driving, it's like with a big white scarf trailing in a Testarossa around Monaco Clifftop Road or something.
Speed required 97.
Yes, it was a mini metro that I learned to drive in. That's how long ago it was. 97 then for Beaton. He will have some time to come back for the double top, which he's hit 2 out of 2 of.
Oh, filling it up, Steve Douglas.
121.
Not to be, but Steve Beaton.
You require 40.
He's 2 for 2 at this double top so far. Well, has to come down for double 10. That's missed by a long way.
35.
Chasing it all around the board, and Steve Douglas got himself a chance here. 58 left. It's a double top.
55.
This is inside very much like Beaton, so doesn't want to miss the big number. Straight in the middle to double 2 for Steve Beaton and a 3-1 lead.
Steve Beaton, 5th leg, Steve Douglas.
And the 2-leg advantage is reasserted by Beaton. The defending champion halfway to a place in round 3 where he'd face Wes the Warrior Newton.
45.
Yes, Douglas will see that as a good opportunity missed to break back there, but as it is,
66.
Beaton marches on. The final match of the afternoon session, Steve sees Dave Chisnall take on Steve West. And then we'll be back at 7 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock in the UK for 8 more second round matches.
100.
And some mouth-watering ties in prospect there. Kicking off the evening with Peter Wright up against John Henderson.
Yeah, and I tell you what,
121.
Kim Hybrecht's Paul Nicholson, speaking with Paul last night, no love lost there were his exact words. Good friends away from the dartboard, but they don't leave anything behind when they get up on stage. They'll be giving it their all.
And Paul Nicholson was in fantastic form last night as he saw off Alex Roy
140.
in the first round. 6 180s. A 161 checkout for Nicholson.
Yeah, it was very impressive stuff.
85.
I think currently he's probably wandering around Berlin. He said he was going to go and check out some of the sites. We'll have to see if that inspires him to a similar performance this evening. But Steve Douglas here looking for double top.
64.
But he will be back. All Beaton can do is apply some pressure. There is going to be some pressure.
88.
Not quite as much as he would have liked, though. But Steve Douglas wants double top. Chasing it round the board. Gets it in the end.
Steve Douglas.
A bit of release of the pressure from Steve Douglas. A big roar of approval from the man from Gilding.
Yes, and just staying on the coattails of the Adonis, who kicks off the 6th leg with a maximum.
Yeah, not a great deal between these two in the averages. You can see there. Beaton nudging ahead on the first 9. Mainly down to those 2 180s. But Douglas is shading it on the 140s. But the important stat is the legs there. Beaton leads 3-2, and he is throwing here. He knows if he holds his throw and continues to do so, he will win the match. He will go through to play Wes Newton tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow afternoon, I should say. The first session of the day.
Yes, a great weekend of darts for you, wherever you're watching us on livepdc.tv or via Corals or Bet365.
133.
And this competition reaching its conclusion Easter Monday evening. The afternoon session with the 3rd round, then the quarters, the semi and the final.
Superb stuff from Steve Douglas there. A 171, as good as a 180, and that puts him within touching distance of Beaton. There's more pressure on this 110 now. It looked like he was strolling towards this leg.
50.
There's a chance he could lose it without even getting a shot at a double.
135.
We shall see. We'll start on the bullseye. So, treble 20 to go back for Bull. He's got the treble 20. What a shot this would be!
110.
Narrowly misses out Steve Douglas. Valiant effort after the 171 as well. Superb couple of visits. But Steve Beaton, is he going to punish him? Double 10. He's only got one dart left.
50. Stevie required 25.
That was well inside the double 10 for Beaton. And is Douglas going to make him pay with this double 12? One more dart in his hand.
13.
Just inside. Well,
Stevie required 10.
another one of those pivotal moments you feel
Game shot
in this second round of the German Darts Masters.
Seventh leg.
And now re-establishing
Game on.
a two-leg lead. Well, that was a fantastic leg of darts for Steve Douglas, but it all came to naught when we got down to the business end of it and unable to check out on the doubles.
Yeah, it was superb work to pressure Beaton and give himself a chance, but there's no point if you're just not going to hit your doubles. Now can Beaton hit back and put Douglas under pressure on his own throw? First 180 of the match for him. It's the third one between the pair of them. He enjoyed it as well. To add to the 171 that he hit in the previous leg. And that's got him back into this leg after a bit of a slow start comparative to Beaton. Oh, this is more like it.
He's great on those treble 19s, isn't he?
Yeah, he's had a lot of success down that part of the board.
97. Stevie require 100.
Well, Beaton's left himself the big one. If Douglas can't take this out, 90 left. Now he may go bullseye for tops, he may go treble 18. He went for bull, he'll probably stay there for double top.
53.
Well, it's a smaller target, the bull, than the treble 18. This is huge, we've already seen it today. Not going to happen here.
Yes, we saw Stephen Bunting take it out
130.
in his 6-4 victory over Justin Pipe. Double top then for Steve Douglas to go to within one of the Adonis.
36.
And can't happen, and now a real chance for Beaton to put daylight between himself and his opponent and go to within one leg of victory. He wants double 10, and yes,
Seventh leg. Steve Beaton.
that is the quality
Eighth leg. Steve Beaton, the front first. Game on.
and the coolness under pressure, which has kept Steve Beaton in the upper echelons of this sport for so many years. And now throwing with darts in hand
96.
for the match and a place in round 3 against Wesley Newton.
Yeah, well, Douglas, he threw a 180 in that last leg. He threw a 171 in the leg before that. He ended up losing them both, and it's all come down to
44.
not getting the job done towards the business end of the leg. And Steve Beaton's punished him. He's been nowhere near the calibre
80.
that we saw from him in the European Tour last year when he went on that blinding run with a couple of semi-finals, a quarter-final, and of course winning the German Darts Masters. But for his first game this weekend, he looks
84.
to be inexorably moving towards the victory that he needs. And that'll mean that going into the final day of action, he has a chance of
84.
defending his title. He leads here by a good 130 points. Only needs to win one more leg out of the next 4.
59.
And right here, right now, is where Steve Beaton wants to end this. And he's going about it in exactly the right way. A solid ton brings him down to a finish. And he'll have 6 darts from there because Douglas isn't going to be near one himself.
100. Stevie require 140.
So Steve Beaton to finish it in style.
49.
So we'll be back for 92. And Douglas will just look to put pressure on the shot if he can, but really could do with a treble here.
83.
Well, he got a treble, but not the required one.
Well, Steve Beaton's gone straight at the treble 20. Now double 80 once for a 6-2 victory.
Shot. And the match.
It wasn't electric, it wasn't brilliant, but the defending champion Steve Beaton picks up a regulation 6-2 win against Steve Douglas. He's through to the third round of the German Darts Masters, and Wes the Warrior Newton, the two-time major finalist, will await him. We've got one more game for your afternoon session here. It's Dave Chisnall, the 180 machine that is Chizzy, against Steve West. There's Elmar Polka, your MC, with a few words from the former world champ and your victor over Steve Douglas, Steve Beaton.
Steve, congratulations. Perhaps not the best match, but always under control, right?
Yeah, never go on a holiday before a big tournament.
Okay.
Obviously, I need a bit more practice. But no, we had good spells up and down, and hopefully that's good practice for me for tomorrow.
So where does Steve Beaton do his holidays?
Tenerife? Do they know Tenerife? Is that the same?
We say.
Oh, Tenerife.
Yeah. Okay. It's quite interesting. The first 5-seeded player lost their matches today. Wes Newton, and you were the only seeded ones who could win that match. Is that the reason because to have the advantage to have played a match before here for the other players, for the unseeded players?
I obviously it's great for us players to be obviously seeded into the last 32, but obviously they're going to get a game beforehand. But then I'd rather be in the last 32 and not play a game, and then we can always improve from this, you see. But yeah, I've been watching the games today. There was a couple of good games, but there's no easy games here, you know, and that's the whole point of the system. You know.
See you tomorrow again against Wes Newton. Thank you very much, Steve Beaton.